Hey hunters, my name's Eric. I live in Los Angeles. I'm about 9 years late to this party, which makes it all that much more frustrating. I've had this book on my shelf for the past 4+ years, and about 2 weeks ago, something prompted me to start reading it for the first time. I had known about the treasure, know about Forrest Fenn, know the gist of the story, and for whatever reason, I decided I was gonna read it. I got curious, like everyone else, and maybe even a little bit greedy. Let's just be frank. Who doesn't want $2 million? I did exactly as he said. I read the book. I read the poem. I memorized the poem. I went back and reread the book, looking for clues. I read Journal of a Trapper. I watched a bunch of his interviews. I fact checked some of the quotes that he said. I've watched other videos of what other people think. I've watched some really cool documentaries, or really cool mockumentaries, I should say, and also some really dumb ones of people saying he's a fraud and that there is no treasure. Let me start off by saying this. After what I've learned about him as a person in his life, he really cared about being able to make a difference and make people happy. I strongly believe that the treasure is still out there, and dude, this is not like he's not some kook. He amassed a fortune by being a really, really good salesman. And if you're going to hide $2 million in the woods, you would want to make sure you knew that that had been found, a way to prove that it had been found, and that your good name would not be soiled. And maybe, just maybe, make some money in the process. I doubt his gallery or any of his businesses have struggled because his name is now held in greater regard in the world. I want to read page 129, a little section of The Thrill of the Chase that helps me to know not only is the treasure real, but that he wanted it found before he passed away. Listen with me. Page 129. Then one night, after the probability of my fate had finally hit bottom when he had cancer, I got an idea. It had been so much fun building my collection over the decades. Why not let others come searching for some of it while I'm still here? And maybe continue looking for it after I'm gone. When you get old, every year is a blessing and not a guarantee. I don't know, maybe he figured he would live another decade, maybe he thought he'd live to 100, but when you're 80, and that's even, we don't even know if that's true, that he was 80, 79, 80 when he hit it, and that's for a whole nother can of worms. He said in 1988 he had the idea. 15 years later he hid the treasure. That's 2003. So, but we're not going to say whether it was he misspoke, whatever. All I know for sure is he did hide a treasure and he wanted it to be found while he was alive. I really strongly believe that. He didn't do as he did with the bells and bury them too far that the metal detector couldn't find it in the ground, like he did the bells. Where the treasure is, we'll get into that in a later video, where I think it is, or the plausibilities or possibilities. But what I do know for sure, just from logic, just pure logic, and I think this dude was a pretty logical guy, it is not sitting exposed, like just sitting out there just for on accident that somebody could stumble across it. And you might be saying, well, maybe he hit it so well, there's a place that only he knew about. Dude, if you read Journal of a Trapper, Indians and fur traders and prospectors have been rolling through these mountains since there were like 7 people in America. The places that he found special, everyone else has found special too. I don't care how rural of a place you think he hid this thing, people walk through there everywhere. And now that there's people hunting for it, it's not just going to be laying there. Someone's got to earn it. This is underground. Maybe not buried per se. Maybe it's just in one of his a giant one of his bronze jars with the lid screwed on and buried. Just the surface is there, or that the reference he makes to the olive jar, or maybe it's in a barrel, or maybe it's just beneath the surface, and you are going to need to shush some dirt or pull some sod off of it. I don't know. I'm very confident that it is underground and that it is real, and he would like it to be found. He would like that bracelet to be with him when he passes to the other side of the veil. Third, so this is a real treasure. It is underground. 3, I'm going to hold him to his words when he says all you need to find the treasure is a good map and the poem. He didn't even say you needed the book, though the book obviously would help with all the hints riddled in here. But all you need, I don't think you need a canoe. I don't think you need a helicopter, an airplane, or all these other zany theories. I don't think that a boat would help you find this place that he found that was special to him. I just don't believe that was his nature to make it so only someone with the resources could find this. Like, I think he wanted someone with the wisdom to be able to have the opportunity to find it. So those are my 3 things, just from what I know about Forrest the man. Not necessarily what I can prove, because I don't have the treasure in my lap. But I believe that Forrest the man would want it to be found while he was alive. He would want it to be easy enough that the person that actually solved the clues could go to the place and find it, but difficult enough that you would actually have to find it. It's not just laying out behind a tree, or you follow those clues and there it is. It's just right underneath the waterfall. Dude, it's not underneath the waterfall. Everyone goes, there is not a waterfall in the world that is undiscovered. Like, people of course they're beautiful. Everyone goes to them, right? It's not just going to be sitting behind a waterfall. That would have been found year 1 on accident. I don't care which waterfall it was. And if you thought it was in New Mexico, where there aren't as many waterfalls, you better believe it would have been found already. It's not behind a waterfall. It might be under the rocks near a waterfall, but it's not just sitting there exposed. Anyways, stick with me. I live in Los Angeles. I intend to make multiple trips into the Rocky Mountains. We'll get more specific later this summer. I would love to get some ideas, some help with rental cars, and find out a way we can collaborate and get this treasure found. Whether I find it or somebody else finds it, it needs to be found, because it's eating away at my brain. It's eating away at my sleep. This needs to be found. If I find it and I get some help through the merits of others, guess what? I would love to be able to share some of this with somebody, because as Forrest says, any part of some is better than no part of any. And I think that is a brilliant way to live. And that's probably why it hasn't been found yet, because people are too greedy. People that actually have been within 200 feet are too greedy to share with other people where they were. And guess what? The treasure still hasn't been found. They could have found it in 2011, but they were too greedy. Any part of some is better than no part of any. Again, I'm Eric. This isn't Fenny anymore. And I invite you to subscribe. I'm going to be coming out with multiple videos on things that I've learned from the reading, the actual just tangible facts. None of this speculative crap where I just point at a map and I try to fit the clues into what I think. Just facts from what I can easily discern from the reading. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck in your hunt. Hit me up in the comments with some of your thoughts, and I'll get back to you soon. Thanks.